Hello students, good morning. This is chapter number 5, the Mughal Empire for class 7th SST. Read this chapter with help of video in English language. Page number 40. The Mughal traditions of inheritance. Mughals did not believe in the rule of primogeniture, Primo geniture, where the eldest son inherited his father's state. Instead, they followed the Mughal and Timurid traditions of COPAR, CENARY, Coparcenary, Coparcenary inheritance or the division of inheritance among all sons. Mughal relations with other kings. There were many rulers who joined the Mughals voluntarily, while the Mughals had to campaign against those who refused to submit. The Rajputs are an example of this. The Mughals won over many Rajput states by adopting the following measures. First, they married princes of many Rajput royal families. B. They gave high position to Rajput men in their administration. Sisodia Rajputs resisted and refused to accept Mughal authority for a long time. Once defeated, however, they were honorably treated by the Mughals. They were given their lands, Watan, back as assignments, Watan Jagirs. This careful balance of defeating but not humiliating their opponents helped the Mughals to extend their influence over a large area. Abul Fazl and Akbarnama. Akbar asked one of his close friends and courtiers, Abul Fazl, to write a history of his region. Abul Fazl wrote a three-volume history titled Akbarnama. The first volume dealt with Akbar's ancestors. The second volume recorded the events of his region. The third volume is called Aine Akbari. It gives the following details. Akbar's administration, royal household, army, revenues, geography, customs and traditions of the people of India, even statistical details about the crops, prices, wages, etc. Mughal administration. The Mughal Empire was divided into provinces called Subas, governed by Subedars who carried out both political and military functions. Each province had an financial officer called the Diwan. To maintain peace and order in the Suba, the Subedar was assisted by officers like first the paymaster of the army, Bakshi, minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, Sardar, the military commanders, Fauzdars, the town police commander, Kotwal. The Mughal armies were commanded by their nobles. The state collected huge amount of revenue from various sources, but the main source of income was the tax on land. By the end of 17th century, many nobles had built independent networks for themselves due to their self-interests. Their loyalties towards the empire weakened, resulting in the downfall of the empire. A closer look Akbar's policies. The Rajput policies of Akbar was notable. He married the Rajput princess, the daughter of Raja Bharmal. It was a turning point in the history of Mughals. Rajput served the Mughals for 4 generations. Many of them rose to the positions of military generals. Raja Bhagwan Das and Raja Man Singh were given senior position in the administration by Akbar. One by one, all Rajput states submitted to Akbar. But the Ranas of Mewad continued to defy despite several defeats. In the Battle of Haldighati, Rana Pratap Singh was several defeated by the Mughal army led by Man Singh in 1576. Following the defeat of Mewad, most of the leading Rajput rulers had accepted Akbar's suzerainty. Akbar's Rajput policy was combined with a broad religious toleration. He abolished the pilgrim tax and later the jizya. The Rajput policy of Akbar proved to be beneficial to the Mughal state as well as to the Rajputs. The alliance secured to the Mughals the services of the bravest warriors. On the other hand, it ensured peace in Rajasthan, and a number of Rajputs who joined the Mughal service rose to important positions. Religious policy. In the beginning of his life, Akbar was a pious Muslim. Soon after marrying Jodha Bhai of Amber, he abolished the pilgrim tax, and in 1562 he abolished jizya. He followed his Hindu wives to worship their own gods. Later he became a skeptical Muslim. In 1575 he ordered for the construction of Ibadat Khana, house of worship, at his new capital Fatehpur Sikri. Akbar invited learned scholars from all religions like Hinduism, Jainism, Christianity, and Zoroastrianism. He disliked the interference of the Muslim ulemas in political matters. In 1579, he issued the infallibility decree by which he asserted his religious power. In 1582, he promulgated a new religion called Deen-e-Ilahi, or divine faith. It believes in one God. It contained good points of all religions. Its basis was rational. It upholds on no dogma. It was aimed at bridging the gulf that separated different regions. However, his new faith proved to be a failure. It fizzled out after his death. Even during his lifetime, it had only 15 followers, including Birbal. Akbar did not compel anyone compel anyone to his new faith. Land revenue administration. Akbar made some experiments in the land revenue administration with the help of Raja Todermal. The land revenue system of Akbar was called Jabti or Bandobast system. It was further improved by Raja Todermal. It was known as the Sala system, which was completed in 1580. By this system, Todermal introduced a uniform system of land measurement. The revenue was fixed on the average yield of land assessed on the basis of past 10 years. The land was also divided into four categories: polas cultivated every year, परुति वंस इन 2 years, ये मतलब परती भूमि जो होती है वो परती, ये पोलाज कल्टिवेटेड एवरी ईयर जो हर साल कल्टिवेट की जाती है, मतलब बहा जुताई, और परती वंस इन 2 years, चाचर वंस इन 3 or 4 years, एंड बंजर वंस इन 5 or more years. Payment of revenue was made generally in cash. Mansabdari system. Akbar introduced the Mansabdari system in his administration. Under this system, every officer was assigned a rank Mansab. The lowest rank was 10 and the highest rank was 5,000 for the nobles. Princes of royal blood received even higher ranks. The ranks were divided into two, Jat and Savar. Jat and Savar. Jat means personal, and it fixed the personal states of a person. Savar rank indicated the number of cavalrymen of a person who was required to maintain. Every Savar had to maintain at least two horses. The Mansab rank was not hereditary. All appointments and promotions as well as dismissals were directly made by the emperor. So students, read it with the help of video. Thank you.